is Daryl Monroe.
And I'm Scott Richards. And we're just going to answer one of the questions we get frequently asked is, what do we do or how do we help business leaders or businesses? And the first way we do it is workshops, Daryl. So how do we do that?
Yeah, so what we find is that we bring a group of people together. That can be an internal group of people within an organisation, or it can be a group of people from multiple different organisations. And our intent of a workshop is our primary belief is that people learn by discovery. So we create and help facilitate a process of discovery. We use the knowledge and wisdom within the room, combined with our own knowledge and wisdom, and we bring that together and try and get the best outcomes for that group. So it's very tailored towards the group need, but it's got a theme or a clear message that's underpinning it. For example, we could have a workshop on business acumen, and then that would be the theme carrying it out throughout the day, and we'd use various tools, methods, models, mental models, and supporting materials to be able to bring that alive.
Yes. Well, one of the things is when we're teaching workshops, we're not doing it as a teacher or as a theorist. We're doing it from a practical point of view.
Yes.
And really, it's hands-on. It's being able to apply something in a situation and then how you can apply it in your own business.
Well, how many times have you or I attended a workshop to go in there and get a lot of great information, but not actually get anything practical to go away with?
Yeah.
So I've got the theory, but how am I going to apply it?
Yeah, and that really comes back from our experience as coaches.
Yes.
Is being able to help people take that first step or develop that mini habit, or it's all about breaking those habits and starting a new habit.
Yeah, so we deem a workshop successful when people feel confident to go away and start the first step or steps to get the change that they desire.
Yeah.
So tell us about analysis.
So analysis is when we've been asked to go into a business because they want an objective point of view. So if you've watched our video on our laser model, where we talk about look, listen, learn.
Yep.
And so sometimes in an organisation, the leader is too busy, or they're new and they're just trying to learn, and they just want an objective point of view. And we'll come in and using our tool set and our experience of working with organisations, and then start working through the laser model and then helping businesses understand where they're at within their competitive landscape, within their customer experience, with their employees, within their culture.
Yep.
And then we overlay it with our SECS model, our strategy, execution, culture and structure.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing is our approach here is when we're invited in to do some analytical work in an organisation, we go in with our minds wide open, non-judgmental. We may pick up on things and think, well, there's a quick win straight away. It's not about they should have known that or whatever, because we understand what it's like. We've been in business ourselves. We've been up to our neck in day-to-day activities. Sometimes great ideas just get lost, and we've talked about in that previous session. So the analysis is the opportunity to sometimes do a shallow dive or a deep dive based on the client's request.
Yeah.
Now, the next one, I guess, is around this group coaching. So the power of group coaching. Wow. Tell us about your experiences there, Scott.
It's very similar to the workshop, where you're harnessing the wisdom from the room, where by a lot of the times people aren't getting the problem because they're not asking the right question.
Yep.
And that's where we use our experience in asking the right question to draw out the people's knowledge and experience, and just combining that wisdom and that expertise that's generally in a room, that the information and the knowledge is there to solve their problem.
And it's interesting because both of us coming from a formal coaching background is the ability to listen and the moments of silence. So it's amazing the number of times a thought crystallises for an individual or a group when you put out a question and you leave some silence there and allow people to reflect and process, and all of a sudden some real learning comes out of that. So we get a lot of power out of that. But this is really about working on specific, how does this apply to your unique situation? Because everybody's situation is unique.
Yeah.
Different pressures, different environments, different people, so many things, but there's common elements, and that's what we leverage out of here. And people go away with a much clearer idea.
Yeah.
And that typically is a rotating process. The group comes back several times over a few months for half days or even one-day sessions to leverage that group's knowledge and take them forward.
Yeah.
The last one, consulting. This is usually as an invite in from an organisation to actually do any of these components. Sometimes we've come in to ask to run a financial workshop or a business acumen workshop, to do some analysis, to do some leaders coaching is quite a common one. Quite often get asked to come in and work with specific leaders to help them, develop their skill sets to a next level and increase their performance. So the consulting can take many, many different types of requests.
Yeah.
I've had one that's gone from developing an onboarding process. The onboarding process in that organisation wasn't getting the results they wanted, and they asked us to come in and actually do a complete redesign, and as a result of that, much higher impact on the people coming into the business. And in fact, people making comments is, well, as a result of going through the onboarding, I now know that I've chose the right organisation to be with. So it's huge, really.
Yeah, so generally it's in this situation, the organisation will not have the resources, or the people are just snowed under with work, or they want an objective perspective, and that's where we apply our expertise.
I think the key thing that we probably need to mention here, though, is that when we do this work and we're asked to come in and do some consulting work, we're opposed to dumping our findings and walking out with the cash. It's about, we want the organisation to walk alongside us as we do this, develop their understanding, transfer that knowledge back into the business so they end up with a much better result.
Exactly. So we like to empower so that the people working in the actual job are better off than when we first started.
Yeah.
So all of this is all within our business acumen framework. And just to remind you what business acumen is, it's knowing how your business makes money, how to drive execution within the context of your business or your company strategy to deliver extraordinary results.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that is a question we often get asked. So thanks very much for that, Scott.
Thank you, Daryl.